So how do we change our health? Well, one of the things we need is we need to make changes. To make these changes, we actually have to have confidence. Because if we don't have enough confidence to make the changes, to stay disciplined, have confidence to be disciplined, to make the changes, we're not going to be healthy. So what happens is we avoid doing any of these because we don't want to fail. In this video, I'm going to show you some strategies that I see my clients, that we introduce with my clients, so they can actually turn their lives around, have the confidence to follow through, make the changes they need, and transform their lives. And we're going to start right now. Well, hello everybody, I'm Dr. Glenn Harrison and welcome to this week's segment of Why. This is where we take just a few minutes to answer some of the most common health-related questions that I see in my office every day. So the question is, Dr. Harrison, I think this is a great idea. I want to change my health. I want to do all this, but I don't know if I have the discipline. That just seems extreme. Well, I get this all too often in my clinic. I shouldn't say that. I see people that they believe that. They believe they don't have the discipline to do what it's required, and as a result, they don't do anything. And then they don't get any better, and years and months go on, and it creates more insecurities because action creates confidence, inaction creates insecurities, and you can use that with any aspect of life. So what do we do? How do we build this confidence to have the discipline to do what we need? Because if you don't have the confidence, you're not even going to venture into these things. So what can we do? Well, to give you a short story, in my clinic, I've had people come in. Okay, they come in, they're really sick, they got all these problems, and they heard about what we do. They know they're going to have to make some dietary change, but they still want to achieve this higher level of health. And I've seen them write on their paperwork say, Dr. Harrison, I am not going to remove X, Y, and Z food. Well, what happens is once we get into it, and once we really drill down to what's motivating them and why they need to change what they're doing in their life, regardless of what that is, and how it's important to them, they're able to do these things because it's important to them. So sometimes we just need a higher level of motivation. We need to have a tough conversation with ourselves to be able to say, hey, I'm deciding I'm making a change today. I'm not going to wait for this anymore. So what are some of those things? Well, how do we get motivated exactly to make the changes? Because we can do amazing things when we're motivated. And it doesn't always have to be fear, because I don't care for fear. That's a negative motivator, if we want to call it that. So one thing we can do is we really got to drill down to why we need to do what we need to do, why we want to improve our health. So a great example is exhaustion. I get this all the time. People are exhausted for many different reasons, and we go through all of that. But the motivation to get them to do something, especially when they're exhausted, it's much harder. Well, one thing, we just need to drill down in why they want to improve their energy, for example. Not just, Dr. Harrison, I want to improve my energy because I'm tired. That's not enough. I want to improve my energy because I'm not able to play with my children or grandchildren. That can be a motivator, and it really, really hits me. I feel I'm missing out on life. I want to improve my energy, and I'm using energy as an example. I want to improve my energy because it's affecting my love life. I'm not able to do anything with my significant other because at the end of the day I'm falling asleep, and it's affecting our relationship, our marriage, our love life, what have you. We all have reasons why we'd want to improve our health, and we really got to drill down to it. So that's number one. That is a motivator. You got to sit down and think about this one, because we do it with everybody we work with. It's important. That's number one, as a motivating factor. The next thing that I think is very important is really, really create clarity and have that hard conversation with yourself or with a doctor you're working with, a lifestyle doctor, of why where are you going to be in 2 to 3 years if you don't make changes? And I've had this conversation with people. If it stays the same in 2 to 3 years, if you don't have the confidence to make these changes, or you're gonna withdraw and not make the changes you need to do, take on some lifestyle medicine, well, what's going to happen? It's probably not even going to be the same in 2 to 3 years. It's naturally declining. Things are getting worse and worse and worse. So if you don't like your life now, 2 years is going to be worse. We might not even be able to pull out of this in 2 to 3 years. So people really have to see where their life is going, because for some reason we feel if we don't do anything, everything stays the same. And with health, it's almost always worse with time. We get sicker and sicker, more and more exhaustion, etc. So that's another motivating factor, having that tough conversation with yourself. Is if you don't do it today, when are you going to do it? Okay, it's only going to get worse. It's going to be harder in the future. Another thing is we have to have skin in the game. So this is probably a big part of how our clients are able to achieve what they want to achieve. They have some skin in the game. They've made some investment in time, a commitment, whatever it is, resources, and they follow through. It's kind of like if you buy fitness equipment. Well, you tend to be very consistent with it because you have you have made that investment, you have skin in the game. So you work out with it frequently until it kind of gets old and then you start to slip. Okay, so you got to have some skin in the game. There's many ways for this. Another one is having an accountability partner. Now, I talked about this on a sister podcast to this and videocast and YouTube channel, and it's called Brainstorming with the Docs with a colleague of mine, Dr. Colby Condos. Brilliant doctor, and we talked about accountability. I've talked about it in other podcasts. Get an accountability partner. I want to put the link to that accountability YouTube video below. You can see our conversation with accountability. So hopefully these things help you, because just getting it, turning it all around. I see in my clinic again where people don't act on the lifestyle change, and it's so common that they don't believe they can do it. And we've seen people do remarkable things, and we can help most people. Reach out to us, we can help you. But you got to have a guide. You have to have structure. You have to be confident you're going in the right place. If you have a guide and accountability and some skin in the game and specific targets that you want to achieve, and knowing why you need to change your health, these will transform your life. And once you're able to see and be consistent with something, with a formula like this, you have more confidence to do more and do more and be consistent. And once you are consistent long enough, then you start to see the health-related changes, which further increases confidence. And then it changes your life. So hopefully this was helpful. I just see so many people that withdraw and don't make the changes because they believe they don't have the discipline to do what it takes, and therefore they don't even try because they don't want to experience failure. And I just want you to know that you can get around that. We can help. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, and I look forward to talking to you next day on another health-related topic. Have a great day.